Hey, Luke. First game, you guys had some really nice bright spots. But one of the things I noticed in the third quarter, they started playing the pick and roll, and you called a timeout early and made some adjustments. Just how big was that adjustment that you made to really slow down the Aiton cut and that whole pick and roll action they were doing?
Well, that was a big emphasis going into the game. Was again going back to being disruptive, and how do we disrupt uh, the Phoenix Suns? What a big part of what they do is that pick and roll with either Chris or Booker, and they're both so talented offensively that Aiden gets a lot of easy dunks around the rim, and so we try to game plan around that, to take that part of the game, or at least make it more difficult. Because when they're doing that, it can deflate a team. And I thought our guys really did a nice job of responding, especially with the limited amount of time we had to rep some of that stuff. And to me, it always comes back with what kind of effort are you doing things with. And the effort last night was top shelf again from our guys.
Katie Hunter.
Hey, Luke. Rebounding is something that, at times you guys struggled with as a team. Last year, you'd have a couple guys that could contribute, but this year with Bagley healthy and Whiteside out on the floor, it seems to be a real strength of yours early. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit to what Whiteside has been able to kind of provide for you off the bench, both rebounding and protecting the rim.
Yeah, so rebounding is huge, right? And we talk about that. So we want to continue to become a team that can count on our defense. And you finish defensive possessions off by rebounding. And I think that getting Marvin back and adding Hassan definitely helps, because they're both very gifted rebounders. But another part of the early season success we've had so far with rebounding is our guards are doing a heck of a job of coming back in. And we're constantly talking about sandwich rebounding, which for us means guards come in and sandwich the big. And if our guards can get those rebounds, it's a great fast break starter for us. So even looking last night, if you go down the line, there was, Harrison had 10 rebounds, De'Aaron had 4, Buddy had 4. So, a lot of that, Glenn had 3. So these are like wings and guards that if they're coming in and helping rebound, one, it makes us a better rebounding team, but it also makes us a better transition team. So it's been a good job by the group as a whole.
Cunningham.
Hey, what's up, Luke? I know it's kind of a small sample size still, but last year that bugaboo of having to defend without fouling really kind of corrupted your team a little bit. And I'm wondering what kind of growth you've seen so far. So good, I guess.
Yeah, it's been solid. It's been solid. Keep your arms out. Show. I mean, these players in today's game have gotten so good offensively that if you don't keep your arms out and where the rules are today, you're just there's gonna be fouls. There's gonna be lots of foul calls, and we struggled with that big time last year. And it's hard. It's unnatural at times to play defense with both arms out, but that's what it takes now. And you got to rely on your help side defenders. And last game we did a very, very good job of that. And what it's about though is the consistency of doing it night in, night out. So last night's over. Are we gonna come in with the same mental edge and focus that we had? And that's the challenge for a team that's, at the stage of the journey that we're on, is trying to find a way to do that every single night, or at least as many nights as possible. But yeah, in the first 2 games, it was pretty good.
Jason Jones.
Hey, Luke. Hey, I'm going to follow up on something you mentioned yesterday about De'Aaron and about being the hardest worker, and how on all the teams you've been around, the great players are always the hardest worker. Is it possible, how long does it take for a young guy to kind of first learn how hard you have to work in the NBA to be a good player? And secondly, does it also take a player a while to learn that the credibility you have as a leader is tied to that work that your teammates see you putting in?
Yeah, it's a good question, but there's not an answer for it because it's different for everybody. Some players come in, and they get it right away, and they take off from a pretty early age. Some players, it takes some time. A lot of times it depends what kind of culture you're coming into. What are your vets doing? When you're a rookie, are they hardworking vets? Are they just kind of, punching the clock type of thing? So there's a lot of variables that go into it. What I do know is De'Aaron worked extremely hard this offseason in the weight room and on the court. And he's continued that into camp so far. And at this rate, he'll continue to get better and better.
Harvey.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned earlier about the rebounding, and Glenn Robinson pulled down at least 3 of them. But what was interesting that he was ready. Excuse me. He came in ready, and he did things immediately. Can you talk a little bit about, his work ethic and him being ready anytime you make that call?
Yeah, he's been very impressive since day one of camp. We sit around as a staff and kind of talk about practice each day and the players and where we have to take player development to and what we're seeing. And we were all shocked that Glenn was even out there for us to have as a training camp invite. This guy's a very good basketball player, very professional. He didn't play at all in the Denver game, and as this season goes, what I told the guys last night is what Glenn did tonight, we're going to need from everybody at some point. Like, this is going to be a crazy season, and there's going to be certain nights that, maybe you haven't been playing, but you have to make sure you're ready. And I thought Glenn set a great example of that in his minutes, in last night's game.
Amen.
Coach, in the 2 games, 31, 33 free throw attempts, how important is that to success? And do you and your coaching staff have a target number that you want to see them hit each game?
No, it is very important to success. What we have is the goal and the concept that we want to aggressively attack the rim. And if we're doing that, we want to take layups first. And if defenses are collapsing, then we want to kick out for threes. And the most important part of that equation is getting to the rim and putting pressure on the other team's defense. So when you're playing like that, you're gonna get some good free throw numbers out of it, and we just have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And then I would suspect some games, they start loading the paint more, and then our 3-point numbers should go up. So it's just kind of being able to have that mentality and then have the ability to read what the right play is once you get into the paint.
Jason Anderson.
Hey, Luke, kind of a common theme here with free throws, defending without fouling, et cetera, is these are areas of weaknesses last year that look like strengths, at least so far this year. Is that just coaching and emphasis, or is it a change like in personnel that has contributed to that? What do you attribute all this to?
No, I think there's, everything goes into that. It's a second, if you call last season a full season, but it's a second season with, for the most part, the same group. We added some new coaches, there's some new players, but it's why we talk about building winning behaviors, winning habits. And over time, you start to see things get better when you have the right type of people in place that want to get better, that want to win. And so I think it's a little bit of everything that is why we've seen it early. Now it'd be great if it continues to just go in that direction, but there's going to be a lot more speed bumps and taking steps back again. It's just the way it works in our league, but I'm very pleased with what we're getting out of the guys so far.
Hey, Coach, good to go.
Thanks, guys.